Hey everyone, it's Aman and Christina from the Our Rich Journey podcast, where we answer your questions about making, saving, and investing money for financial independence and retiring early. We are talking about celebrating your journey towards financial independence. You see, that journey can seem like a very, very long journey. And so, how do you stay motivated when you are pursuing something like this that requires you to save and invest a lot of money? It can seem like it's taking forever. And so, today we are going to answer the question, how did we get excited? How did we stay motivated when we were on this journey?
Yes, I love this question because it's really about motivation and celebration, celebrating the small victories along with the big victories. So let's listen to this question from the caller and then we'll get to our answer.
Hi, Amon and Christina. I was just wondering if there was a moment during your FIRE journey that kind of, really got you guys excited about the progress that you'd made, maybe like reaching 100,000 invested or making a large profit on one of your real estate investments. Thanks for everything that you guys have been putting out and sharing over the last few years.
I love this question. I mean, I feel like we love all of the questions that come in, and there's so many more that we're still going through. Oh, by the way, if you guys do have a question for us, call and leave a message for us with your question. You can go to ourrichjourney.com/podcast to leave your question so that we can use it in a future episode. But for this specific question, what I really like about this is it's focused on how can you stay motivated throughout your process. She's asking us, what were our big wins along the journey? Because I think it really ties down to that motivation. How do you celebrate it? How do you stay motivated? Because your FIRE journey can be very long.
Yes.
It can seem like a very long journey that you are going through in order to achieve this single goal. But I want to go back to this idea of how it's so long and what you can do along the way in order to stay motivated. And we actually did a YouTube video on this, and we talked about breaking up your FIRE journey into several different stages. In our video, we talked about 10 different stages. Now, depending on where you start on your FIRE journey, you may not start at stage 1. You may be all the way at stage 7 when you start. But stage 1 is really just being negative net worth. And then stage 10 is you've reached your goal. So there's everything in between. But I like breaking down the FIRE journey into several different stages because that makes it seem like a shorter period of time for each stage, for you to reach each stage, and it's easier to stay motivated. So if you're at a certain mark, maybe you're at 15% of your FIRE number, and your next stage is to get to 25%. Getting from 15 to 25% is much more manageable than looking at it by saying, I'm at 15%, I want to get to 100%.
And I love that we broke our journey down into stages, into these milestones, because with every milestone that we went through, it was reason to celebrate. We got so excited and it just propelled us to the next stage. But honestly, we could have broken our journey down into tiny bite-sized pieces because we got excited every step of the way. When we would make a deposit into our investment accounts, even though our deposits were automated, it was still exciting to know that all of that was taking place in the background. And then whenever we would come into a large lump sum of money from one of our side hustles, and we would immediately take that money and put it into the stock market, we got excited about that too, because it was like we were constantly making progress. And that's what we did every single day. We have this program. It's called 365 Days to FIRE. And every single day within this program, our students are taking action towards their FIRE journey, because that's exactly what we did. Every single day, we were taking action to reach this goal. And so I felt like we were constantly excited about the progress that we were making towards FIRE.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once we hit those milestones, we got even more excited.
Exactly. So you were talking about, putting lump sums of money into investments. Those things got us really excited. But I'll also talk about some of the things like saving and making money that also got us excited. Do you remember when we found those wine boxes?
Oh my goodness, yes.
In the dumpster? We got so excited about that because it was a money-making opportunity for us. And I'll explain to listeners who haven't heard this story from us before, but we were driving in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we went behind this liquor store to park, and we saw all of these dumpsters full of wine boxes, really nice wine boxes.
Wooden wine boxes that were from Europe.
Yes, and they were throwing them all away. And we went in, we talked to them, and we said, can we take these? And they allowed us to take them. And so we were piling them into our car, and we later sold them. We sold so many of them, and we got money from that. That was so exciting for us because it was something that we realized, wait, we can get this for free. And people want this. We want it. We're going to get it for free and we can sell it to people. It was the excitement of finding a way to make money.
You know what? That's what we got the most excited about, making money. Who doesn't get excited about making money? To me, there is something so magical about being able to create income literally out of thin air. And that's what we did with a lot of our side hustles. It was almost like once we got on this journey, our eyes were open to all of these opportunities that were literally lying in the street. In this case, lying in a dumpster behind a liquor store. And it wasn't like a grimy liquor store. It was actually, I think they were a wine vendor, a wine seller. It was a wine store. You make it sound like we were like in the hood somewhere digging in a garbage can behind a liquor store. That's not the picture, right? But it was a dumpster. The point is, we saw opportunities in so many places once we started pursuing this journey. And it all goes back to calculating our FIRE number. Once we knew the amount of money that we needed to invest in the stock market to achieve financial independence, it was like we were focused. We would go out, we would find these opportunities to make more money, to save more money so that we could invest more money. And that was our whole journey. And I think anyone that starts this, yes, you should have these big milestones to look towards, but really every single day you should be excited about this journey.
Yes. So we were excited about that making money piece when we could find these creative things to make money and then it actually worked. That was a real level of excitement for us. But I also want to talk about the saving money because when we lived in Japan, we bought an $800 van. And you even named it Champagne.
Champagne.
It was about finding deals too.
Yes.
We would find these deals like, what? We have an $800 van that we can buy and save. I mean, we can pay cash for this thing. We can save all this money on vehicle fees or on our car. Car payment.
You just made me think about all of the other stuff that we save money on. Like we lived rent and mortgage free for almost 10 years. We never had a legitimate housing bill. Like we always found a way to cover our housing with another source, either through house hacking or having our employer pay for our housing. There was just so many things when it came to saving money that was just amazing.
Okay, I have another one. I feel like I'm like, oh, what about this and this?
This is like going down memory lane
I know.
of financial independence. Like, wow. Looking back on all this stuff, I almost can't believe we did it.
I know.
Right?
I'm going to tell you another one that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, we did do that. Travel rewards.
Oh my goodness.
When
yes.
we figured out travel rewards, we were like, wait, what? You can travel the world for free. You can get your flights for free. You can get your hotels for free. When we realized that, we traveled to Singapore.
Yes.
Business class, had this beautiful hotel. All of it was paid for off of travel rewards.
I mean, we went to so many countries. We went to Singapore. We went throughout Europe. I mean, so many countries in Asia. And we barely paid anything for that travel. And we traveled in style. So, of course, we were excited about that. We were so excited. We were always trying to tell people about all these things. And they would look at us like we were crazy. But we couldn't help it, right? We were literally glowing with all of this excitement all the time because we always had something to look forward to while we were on this journey. Whether it was saving, investing, or the house hacking, or the getting the free trips by using travel rewards. There were just so many things. And you have to have that energy. You have to be able to find things to motivate you. And we always found things to keep us excited about our journey.
Yes, so I think those are some of the smaller things. I think you can combine the smaller things with the bigger things. One of the things that really excited us, that was one of the bigger things, was buying our first property in the San Francisco Bay Area. At the time when we were looking, I was still a law student, so we only had one income, and prices were going well over asking. It was really, really difficult to get our foot in the door for a property that we could afford, let alone going over asking price. And so when we switched up the way that we began to look at properties, we actually found an incredible starter home that we didn't have to overbid on, and we were able to renovate, and we were able to make huge profits by doing that and flip that into multiple properties after that. So as a big win, as a big thing that got us really excited, I think that definitely falls in that category.
Oh yeah, definitely. We definitely got excited about our real estate wins. You know, when we would sell a property, when we would do the live and flip, and we get those settlement checks, they were so big, right?
Yes.
I grew up poor. And so the first time to hold a check for over $100,000, I took so many pictures of it. It was like, I called my dad up. I said, Dad, look at this. It's amazing. My dad was like, boy, put that money away. Don't do it. So it was just a really exciting moment for us to go through that, especially all of the real estate stuff that we did.
Right.
I mean, we could probably talk for hours and hours about how excited we were.
Yeah, I think the purpose of this, the caller is asking us about our specific achievements, and I love sharing this with everyone, but I also recognize that people are going to have different achievements. They're going to get excited about different things. But we like talking about this specific question because we want to focus on this concept that you can celebrate these seemingly small wins and the big wins at the same time. Maybe you go from a negative net worth to a zero net worth. Everything's sort of evened out. And then after that, you go up. You start adding more into your investment accounts and your net worth increases. And then you get to 25% of your FIRE goal, then 50, then 75. There are so many different elements of your FIRE journey that you can celebrate. But the goal is to acknowledge that you're moving forward. Acknowledge that you're taking steps to move yourself forward. So celebrate when you go from one big point to the other big point, but also celebrate what you're doing in order to get to those points. Maybe you sell a real estate property for a profit. Maybe you just get your foot in the door with a real estate property. Maybe you go dumpster diving and you find some buried treasures. Whatever it is, you have to find your own motivation throughout your FIRE journey, and celebrating the small and the big wins can really help to stay motivated. So that is our question. Thank you so much for calling in and leaving that question. It's like going down memory lane, like Aman said. If you guys have questions that you want us to answer in a future episode, please leave them for us. You can go to ourrichjourney.com/podcast in order to leave a question for us to answer in a future episode. But until then, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in the next one. Remember that we are not financial advisors, and the views expressed by us are solely for entertainment purposes. You must make responsible decisions, and that means making decisions based on the thorough, independent research that you conduct. Thanks for listening.